Hello and welcome back to the Road to Good Cooking, and Happy New Year to everyone. And for those of you that stuck with me all last year, thank you so much for your support and watching my videos and enjoying my videos. And I look forward to sharing lots more of my recipes from my cookbook, The Road to Good Cooking, as you see here. And no, I don't have any more copies, but I'm going to be sharing lots of my recipes with you this year. So stick around and let's get started. Okay, the first project I'm going to be working on today are my mushrooms. I'm going to be pressure canning my mushrooms, and I'm going to hot pack them. And my mushrooms, I always wash my mushrooms about 3 times. I rinse them off first to get all the dirt off of them, and then I put them in a bowl of cold water with some vinegar in it and just kind of let them slosh around for a minute. And then I take them out and I rinse them with just plain water on the 3rd time, so they're nice and clean. And because I'm going to be boiling them for about 5 minutes, and then after I get done with the boiling process, I'm going to keep the water, because you'll see what I'm going to do with that later on in the video here. And these are some huge mushrooms. I like to slice my mushrooms relatively thick, because when you pressure cook them, they're going to pressure can for 45 minutes. And whenever I cut them too thin, by the time they get through pressure canning, they're just a little bit too mushy for me, and I don't like that. So I cut them much thicker now, and I happen to like them a little bit thicker, especially if this is going to be my protein source. And look at the size of those bad boys. Yeah, I had pay dirt this time when I found these. And there's the stem, and I always cut off that little end, the dark end, cut that off, put that in the trash can, and then I save the stem. And on this date, my tooth was killing me, because I decided that I was tired of eating soft food, so I made myself some crunchy tacos. Bad idea. I paid for it the next day, all that day. So if I don't look real happy, I wasn't real happy on that day. All right, and through the wonders of video and fast forwarding, I went ahead and fast forwarded and finished up my cutting process. And here are the stems. I have them in a vacuum seal bag, and I will be sealing them, and they'll be going in the freezer. So the next time I get ready to make bone broth for Sophie or chicken broth for myself, these are going in my broth. Here I'm slicing up some onions for my mushrooms. It gives them a really good flavor. And I don't add any other spice to my mushrooms, because whatever recipe I add them to, I'll be adding seasoning at that time. In this pot, I have some purified water that I brought up to a boil. I'm adding my mushrooms, and I'm going to let them cook for 5 minutes. I had a lot going on this day, so I set my timer for 5 minutes so I would not forget my mushrooms on the stove with my absent-minded self. Here I'm giving my mushrooms a good stir. Now it's time to can my mushrooms. The next few steps are going to be pretty well self-explanatory. You guys have all seen me do this before. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill my jars up, alternating the mushrooms with the onions. So I do a layer of onions, a layer of mushrooms, a layer of onions, and so forth. And then I'm going to use the same water that I boiled my mushrooms in to add to the jar. And I'm going to be leaving 1-inch headspace in each jar. So I'm not worried about, a lot of people say, well, the water's going to be dirty. No, my water's going to be nice and clean, because like I said earlier, I wash my mushrooms off 3 times. So I know that this water is nice and clean, and it's good. It's okay for me to use in my jars to pack my jars. So the next few steps are going to be pretty well self-explanatory. So sit back and watch me work like you always do. Okay, and from here, my mushrooms are going into the canner, and I will be pressure canning them for 45 minutes. Now, on to my pineapple project. I found some pineapples on sale, and you know I had to buy at least 3 of them because me and Sophie both, we love pineapple. And I will be water bath canning my pineapple. And from here, I'm going to slice them all up, dice them all up, put them in the jars, and that pot there that you see with the pineapple rinds, I'm going to put those in my mushroom water, boil them for the rest of the day, and then let it cool off overnight, and then tomorrow I will use that mushroom pineapple water for watering my plants. And I tell you what, my plants are going to love it. I do it all the time. They love pineapple water, they love mushroom water, and all those beautiful nutrients that are going to be coming out of that water. It's going to be very good for my plants. And you saw the photo bomber there just a second ago. She's checking out the pineapple because she knows that she's going to get some pineapple. Okay, so I'll put on some quieter music this time for you. Hey, it's a new year. I had to wake you guys up some kind of way. Put you in a good mood, didn't it? I bet you were dancing in your chair just like I was. No, actually, I was doing my arm workout. That's my arm workout song. So, anyway, all right, so let me get back to the video. Sit back and enjoy this part of it and watch me work like you always do. and we're done with this project. Now here's the next day, and what I ended up doing, I washed all my jars off and took all the sticky stuff off of them because the pineapple was really sticky. I ended up with 8 pints of pineapple. This jar is empty because me and Sophie got into it last night, and yeah, it was good. I saved the pineapple juice because I use the pineapple juice for making marinades and sauces. The pineapple juice is really good for making sweet and sour sauce. And I didn't add any sweetener to it because the pineapples were sweet enough. And my mushrooms and onions turned out absolutely beautifully. And I cannot wait to make some pasta sauce or some gravy, or, anything would taste good with mushrooms in it. And off camera, I cut up I had a great big old bowl full of bell peppers of various colors, and I sliced some, and then I diced some, and I put them in the freezer overnight because it's a lot easier to pack them if they're frozen. I remember one day about 6 months ago, I was trying to hurry up and finish up my bell pepper project, so I just scooped them all up and put them in a great big old Ziploc bag, threw them in the freezer, and forgot about it. And then a couple of days later, I needed to use some for a recipe, took them out the freezer, and they were just one great big giant ball of frozen bell peppers, which I couldn't use. Well, I could use it, but it was just a pain in the butt. And the reason why they were frozen, because this is what I found out on Google. More than 90% of the weight of bell peppers comes from water. Bell peppers are also a good source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, including vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin B6, and potassium. Okay, that explains it. Bell peppers are 90% water, so no wonder they froze up into one solid mess. Yeah, that made my day. I have 2 different bags of bell peppers in my freezer. One is for the dice and one is for the slices like you see here. And this is the one that I usually put in my stir fry. I put them in my fajitas. I put them on my burritos. And then the ones that are diced up, I put those in Sophie's food and anything else that I'm cooking. Bell peppers are good for dogs too, by the way. And one good thing about having all of my produce cut up and prepared and ready to go, it just makes it so much more easier for me when I'm cooking. And if I have to stop and do this every time I want some bell pepper, I wouldn't cook with bell pepper because I wouldn't do it. So always take a little extra time, do all your prep work, get everything in the freezer, and that way it'll make it a lot easier on you during the week when you're busy. You're welcome. All right, and here's my pineapple peels that I let cook for about 8 hours, and I put some cinnamon in there and had the house smelling real good with that pineapple water and that cinnamon. And cinnamon is really good for your plants too. I sprinkle cinnamon on my plants all the time. But this water was distilled water that I cooked my mushrooms in, so there's a lot of nutrients in this water, which is why I didn't want to throw it away. And so I just let my pineapple peels simmer most of the day, and they're nice and soft. And what I'll end up doing is pouring it into a gallon jug, and I won't keep the pineapple peels to put into my composting bin because my compost is almost done and I don't want to add anything else new to it. So I'm just going to discard this batch of peels, and I'm sure I'll have more pineapple peels. And here I'm trying to pour it in this gallon jar without spilling it, and I did pretty good. And one thing I found out on Google is that boiling pineapple peels and using the water to water your plants can provide several good benefits for your plants, including vitamin C and minerals such as calcium, which help plants grow. Pineapple peels can be used as a fertilizer for plants because they contain nutrients that can improve soil conditions and promote plant growth. Pineapple peels can also be composted, which can be especially beneficial for acid-loving plants like corn, cucumbers, and azaleas. Alright, so we are finally done with this project, and it was one of those things where you just had to get it done, had to tie up all the loose ends, and you know how that goes. So I wanted to start out the 2025 with being organized and having everything that I needed to get done. And last year, the end of last year got pretty crazy with my tooth bothering me every other day, and I wasn't very productive. So I'm trying to make up for the time that I lost, and that's what I did with this project. So if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by, and welcome to the channel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way you'll be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And speaking of notifications, I heard from several of my family members that they have not been getting my notifications. So I'm going to tell you, like I instructed them, when you go on my channel, and if you see that you've been unsubscribed, just hit that subscribe button again, and that way you'll be notified. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's what's been happening. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I look forward to sharing lots more information with you and lots more of my recipes. So you guys stay safe, be blessed, keep on cooking, and I'll see you soon.